I'll do some.
Just sports, no hard feelings.
That's right. Yes.
And then people will comment, and if they comment, we'll talk about those too.
Okay.
That's why we're not full screen.
We're live right now.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'll do some tagging here. Ooh.
How
do you not have Facebook, dude?
High school kids don't do Facebook. I don't think anymore, not as much. I don't know why. They're all like Snapchat and
I think I
X
have.
Instagram.
I have Facebook, but I think I've used it
I'll say I couldn't find you on there, but
yeah,
it's all good. I tagged your mom on there, so I'm sure all people that know her.
Is it TYSON?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Oh, we got a couple on.
You're tagging everybody, Stenda.
Yeah.
You're the tag man.
The tag man. They call me the scat man. Remember that song, the Scat Man song?
I do remember that song.
He's probably a little too young for that one.
Yeah, there's no way he remembers that. Knows that.
No, ain't no way.
We got music here.
Sweet.
Do this till we start going.
I love it.
Yeah. It only plays for a minute, but
they got some cool. Have you played the other ones before?
Yeah.
What the hell?
I'm curious what all of them do.
Clap.
Ooh, I love that one.
There we go.
Ooh.
This one's crickets.
Yeah. Are you gonna be touching them now when
we're
talking?
Yeah.
That's when we talk about the Steelers. I'll hit the crickets one.
Yeah.
Maybe the Bears.
All right, yeah. I'll be talking to myself about the Bears, but all good. Should we get started, Stenda?
Yeah, whenever you're ready, get it popping, my man.
All right. We are Beyond the Scoreboard podcast. This is episode number 13. Myself, JP Stenda in the house. We have a guest here to my right, Tyson Seeser. First thing before we go off, we want to thank AgCraft for sponsoring us with the t-shirts. We have some sweet jerseys in the work with Fat Leet and Chris Burns. He sent some mock-ups. They're going to be pretty cool. Make sure you follow us on the Facebook page as well as our Twitter/X page if you go that route as well. So we're going to have Tyson here give a little brief introduction of himself, and then we'll get rolling. Go ahead, Tyson.
I'm Tyson Seeser. I go to Comanche High School, one of Coach Coit's athletes for football. I also do basketball and run track.
All right. Yeah. And Tyson's the first current Comanche athlete that we've had on the podcast. So should be a good one.
What grade are you in?
I'm a junior.
Junior. Still a young buck.
Oh, yeah.
Still probably got that intermediate driver's license, don't you?
Yep.
You're not 16. You're 16. Are you 16? You're 16.
Yeah, I'm 16.
But I got you.
Yeah.
Stenda's a cop, so he's got all that.
Hey, let me tell you, before I got one time in high school, junior year, going into junior year of football, I was in Comanche, leaving Chris Burns' house, and I was almost 17, and I was driving past, the intermediate. You can't drive unaccompanied between 12:30 a.m. and 5 a.m. Mm-hmm. And I got pulled over because I had a for sale sign in my car that I was trying to sell, going over the train tracks, and he wrote me a $50 ticket, and I lost my license for 30 days, and I couldn't get my full license till I was 18.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I was always worried about that.
Yeah, dude. I can't remember the guy's name. I was like, bro, dude, I'm going home. I don't know what he thought I was trying to get into. I was like, no, I just left my buddy's house. He's a grown adult. We were playing video games. He's like, yep, you know what, man? I'm sorry. I just got to write you this. It's $50 back then. And sure enough, I lose my license. So, after that, man, I thought a little bit differently of Comanche at that point.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, you're like a criminal, Stenda.
That's right. I was a crim dog.
You still got that cop job, though.
That's right. Still got it, though, man. They look past that in the background.
Yeah. All right. First topic of discussion we're going to get into here is the NFL draft. NFL draft starts on Thursday. the first round. It goes through Saturday. One of my favorite sporting things to follow and watch. I'll probably watch the entire first round Thursday night, and then Friday, Saturday, kind of going through the other rounds and how following where everyone's landing and all that. Obviously, we got the Bears for me and the Steelers for both Tice and JP over here, so I'm gonna be stuck with a bunch of Steeler talk here and all that, but it's all good.
Yeah.
First thing though, I think with this, we'll talk just about the draft in general real quick. Kind of right now, it's looking like it's a pretty heavy quarterback draft with the first 3 picks for sure. I was doing some research on that, and the last time that in the NFL draft that the first 3 picks were quarterbacks was in 1999.
Oh, wow.
Peyton
Manning. No.
No,
No.
he was like or 98. I think Manning was the year before. I think he was either the year before or the year after, one of the two. But it was you were ready for these names?
Ryan Leaf.
Nope, he was in the same draft as Manning.
Damn it.
It was Tim Couch was number 1.
Oh my God.
Donovan McNabb number 2.
Ooh.
And Achilles Smith number 3.
Who the hell is that?
Achilles Smith, he got drafted by the Bengals. I'm pretty sure he was an Oregon quarterback, if I remember correctly, and was really good in college, and then was awful in the NFL. And so was Tim Couch. Yeah,
Tim Couch.
Yeah,
I've never heard of him.
Kentucky, I believe, quarterback back in the day. But yeah, that was the last time that 3 quarterbacks were picked in the top 3. So obviously you have the Bears. They're going to probably go Caleb Williams number 1.
Yep.
And then you have the Commanders and the Patriots are probably going to go quarterback, I would think.
Either Jade McDaniels
or Daniels from LSU or
UNC guy.
Drake May. Is it May?
Yeah. There's a lot of people talking about the Michigan quarterback McCarthy being in that mix, maybe too. But
with Penix as well.
Penix, yep. So with that being said, so Washington has number 2 pick. And earlier this week, and this was kind of a big news thing around the sports world, is they brought in Daniels, May, McCarthy, and Penix all at the same time. And Jaden Daniels, who everyone thinks is going number 2, he thought he was meeting them by himself, and then his agent tweeted a bunch of stuff saying that they thought they were going in as a meeting just him. So now there's rumors that he doesn't want to go there, doesn't want to play there. So, Stinda, what are your thoughts on bringing all of those guys in at the same time as a team? Do you think that's right? Do you think it ruffles feathers like it did with Daniels, or what are you thinking there?
I mean,
I'm going out of order here, but
at that, I would think at that age, going into that stage at the highest level, I mean, you already know what you're going to have to deal with the scrutiny, all those different things once you get into the league. Get over it. You're still going to get drafted. You're going to be a high draft pick. I mean, you see a lot of kind of the divaness from all of the guys over the last few years, talking about, they should be number 1 if they're not going to play for a team. And I know we had that happen back in different eras, but to me, it's kind of just being selfish and thinking you're it's all about you, where it's dude, who cares? You're going to get drafted. You're going to get drafted to a team. You're probably going to get a good chance to start. I don't see what the big deal is, but maybe for maybe those guys, maybe they want that one-on-one time with the organization, but I don't know. I honestly, my thoughts on it's just kind of dude, get over it. You're at the highest level now. You're kind of at their dispense.
Yeah. Tice, you got any thoughts on it?
Yeah, for sure. I see both sides of it. Obviously, get over it. You're gonna go in there, be the guy, probably from day one. If you're a high draft pick, they're not gonna. Well, they might bring someone in, but you're probably gonna beat them out if you're really that good. But I can also see where they're if you want me, there should only be me. But at the same time, it's also a business, so you can't just expect that.
Right. That's a great point. The business side of it, that's a lot of NFL guys say that, if they get traded or, they're take more money somewhere else, Saquon Barkley, we talked before we went live, going in division to the Eagles because he's going to get more money. Right.
Yeah.
So I agree. Like, just go wherever you're going to get drafted and deal, and go. I know Eli Manning did that whenever he got drafted. He refused to play for, I think it was the Chargers?
Chargers.
Chargers, and then he went Giants. And then I know I don't know if we'll get to it later, but you have like now Coach Prime coming out and saying that his son and Travis Hunter are only going to play for certain teams and all that. So like, it's just kind of what happened to just go where you're drafted and work and do what you're supposed to do, but yeah, just interesting. It was a big line of conversation in a lot of the sports world. And I get it if they told Daniels like, hey, we're going to meet with you and didn't tell him the other guys were coming. That's wrong, obviously, but there obviously was some miscommunication there between the agent and the Commanders, but yeah, very interesting though. It is going to see where these quarterbacks go and go from there for sure.
All right, so Coit,
yeah,
is Williams, is he a lock? Is he the number one pick no matter what?
I think so. Yes,
because there are people still saying like they're shaking it up. It's like,
yeah, I know there's some people saying Daniels is better.
I think so.
From LSU. There's even some crazy talk about McCarthy being the guy. There's no way. But yeah, and I don't want them to take another North Carolina quarterback because of what happened with Trubisky. Yeah, but with May, but I think Williams is locked because I don't think the Bears even invited any of these other guys. I think the Bears only brought in Williams, so they're likely, obviously, going to go that route. So yeah, hopefully he's the dude. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Be there for about 3 years. He'll be a backup.
Yes, the Bear.
I'm just kidding. I hope they get on the map. They've had quite a bit of talent, but I don't think they do a very good job. Obviously, the developmental of the skills.
I think the Bear, like last year, their draft was pretty good. I thought with Poles, that was his first draft. Their GM, his first draft, and I thought their draft was pretty good with the trades they made, and obviously getting DJ Moore within that.
Yep.
They had Tyreek Stevenson turned out to be a really good corner. I think he's going to be really good. They got him in that draft as well. And Darnell Wright, the offensive lineman. So the thing with the Bears pick, though, and I think I've said this on here, they're not your traditional number one draft pick team. Usually that's the worst team in the NFL gets that pick that went 3-14 or had a really crappy record. But the Bears are 7-10 last year. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say they could be like the Texans next year. That the Texans this year next year.
Yeah, they have a similar situation.
They have a similar situation. Texans obviously went Stroud as a quarterback. They got the Will Anderson, the edge rusher, defensive rookie of the year. Got some weapons around Stroud. Bears did a really nice job in the free agency with some trades too, I think, with getting Keenan Allen. They traded for the Bills for a lineman. I can't remember the guy's name now, but got another lineman in free agency. So they're doing, because they only have 4 picks, the Bears do, in the entire draft. And obviously one, they're going Caleb Williams. But they could at that 9 take another receiver with Dunze from Washington or the neighbor's kid from LSU. But obviously Marvin Harrison will be out. So I think they should go either receiver, edge rusher at that pick. And then whatever they decide to do there, the next pick, get edge rusher, receiver, and then a lineman and go from there. So, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. That's my plan for the Bears if I was the GM. So we all know I'm not, but
I like that Chop Robinson out of Penn State.
Yeah,
he could be.
I like solid. Him, or even that Turner from Alabama at 9, the edge rusher. Because I don't think. Because the Bears have the 1st, the 9th, 3rd round pick, and where is it? I wrote it down. 3rd round 75 and a 4th round pick. So I don't think Chop Robinson will be there.
Yeah,
3rd, but yeah, it could be.
I bet
he'll be a possibility. He'll be in 1st rounder. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, we'll see Thursday what the Bears do in that first round. Be interesting. They could trade too. I mean, they could trade for more picks with that 9th spot. I don't know if they will though. Going that route.
I got to ask, being a Bears fan, how you've been a Bears fan your whole life, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
Every year, how do you get excited? Like after all the years, just like how do you? I don't know how.
I that's a great question, honestly. I mean, I don't know. I do though. Like I mean, I don't know. The NFL is weird though, because I know the Bears haven't really won much in my lifetime, really. But
Lovey Smith.
Yeah, he was good, but I don't know. It's just like anything else. Like in the NFL, like I don't think you just never know what's going to happen. Like who predicted that the Texans would be a playoff team this year? You know what I mean? And there's always a team or two that surprises people and does that. And I'm saying the Bears are going to be that team.
Yeah, I could see it.
I mean,
there's a possibility for sure.
Yeah. Caleb Williams has to be the dude, though. I'm going to be. And he's obviously going to go through some stuff as a rookie. Like I'm not expecting him to come in and be throw. Yeah, well, I hope he is, but I'm not expecting him to throw 50 touchdown passes or anything stupid like that. But be awesome if he did. But yeah, I think they're going to be better, and they got better last year. So, and their Bears defense is really good. So
yeah,
they're starting to get weapons.
I think
they got DeAndre Swift too now, running back. So.
Swift, and then Keenan Allen, I think was. I mean,
that was a good.
Yeah, he's a machine, man. That Keenan Allen, he's tough.
Yeah, he's a little getting up there in age for a receiver, but he gets some hurt a decent amount of years, but he's still got some good years left for sure. I think he's gonna be good with DJ Moore there.
I feel bad for Justin Herbert. He has no one, no weapons.
Yeah, dude. I'm with you, man.
Yeah. Man. It'd be interesting what they do at number. I think they have the number 5 pick.
They better go wide receiver, otherwise.
I mean,
Herbert's out of there.
Yeah. They probably have to, because the Cardinals are probably going to take Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah,
and then they'd have Neighbors or Dunze, I'd say, after that. But
I like Neighbors. He looks pretty solid.
Yeah, he's good. So we'll talk a little bit about the Steelers for you guys here. Steelers have a bunch of picks. I think they have 7 or 8. Is that right? So I wrote 7. Yeah, 7 picks. What do you guys think needs? What they need to address to be better than 10-7 and first round of playoffs?
So first round, I'd either draft that center out of Oregon. Is it Powers Johnson?
Yep.
Or I'd trade it for a guy like Brandon Ayuk. He's in talk with the Steelers, so that would be my first round.
Nice.
Or or any lineman. We kind of need help there. So
they need line. I mean, their biggest needs are number one, they don't have a center. They have Ryan McCollum, but he's second year. They don't have a center. So if they don't draft a center, Tyson, and they go, what are you going to do? That, I mean, I guess you put McCollum in there and you say, well, you're the starting center, but you can't. They were always built off of a good offensive line, and they haven't had that the last 3 or 4 years. So I think they don't have a choice. But you have to go with your offense. You got to get a center, and you need an offensive tackle too.
Yeah, and he's a stud. He's one of the best center prospects we've seen in the past 10 years. They've been saying so.
He's I mean, we need to get another guy like Pouncey.
That's for sure. Whole career in
Pouncey was a stud.
He was a stud. So was his brother.
That dude was mean. They're just mean.
Yeah. He's tough. He went down in that Super Bowl run against the Packers. Remember, he went down in the AFC Championship, broke his leg or whatever. That may have been that was a bummer, because not having him, and he was I think a 9-time Pro Bowler. But I think offensive tackle, and then they still, Tyson, what do you think about this? They have George Pickens, but you lost Deontay Johnson. Van Jefferson is nothing as a pickup.
No, I agree.
Where did Deontay Johnson go again?
To the Panthers.
Panthers. Okay. Okay. All right. Sorry.
So I'm just saying we have a number 1 as Pickens, but Now you have Calvin Austin, who's 5'9". He has speed, but where's he really going to play? Is he going to? You going to play
I
him in?
see we have to draft a receiver second round or trade for someone like
Mhm.
Like an Ayuk.
yeah, like an Ayuk,
Yeah.
or he could be.
You could get a good receiver in the second round too, though. Then
Absolutely.
second or third.
Antonio Brown came in the 6th round.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Don't give away your tier talk.
It's all right. It's all right. I mean,
yeah, you're right though.
yeah, you
There's
could
been
get a
some-
gem out of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Leighton,
You mean
Never
that Van, when they lost Johnson, which I know they picked up Dante Jackson, Van Jefferson, that's how Pitt kind of does it. They, slide it in like, hey, we picked somebody up. Van Jefferson's played 4 years and he has 1,600 yards. So 400 yards a year, 113 receptions and 10 touchdowns in 4 years. To me, that's not a number. That's not like you have two number ones and he's really just kind of like a complimentary player.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, you're not, where are you going to put him? He's going to have to play the outside with.
Yeah,
Pickens.
he might be like a Robinson type guy for us.
Yes.
From last year, like he didn't do an insane amount of stuff. Like he's just solid receiver for us. But
yeah,
possession guy,
Yeah.
possession receiver.
yeah,
So I don't know. I think I'm with you on that. And also, I mean, they got Dante Jackson with that trade with the Panthers, but dude, they got Joey Porter Jr. And then they need somebody, which I think they're going to ride with Dante Jackson, but
yeah.
dude, watching him, he's getting burned. He get burned. Man cover.
Well, I mean, it can't be worse than Patrick Peterson, right?
No, dude. Oh, love the guy, dog, but damn, bro, like get off the field, dude. Come on. I mean, he plays zone coverage. He could have the guy, like he could have the biggest like in front, and everybody thought when they signed him, he's out of his prime.
For sure.
Like, what did they expect to happen? It's like you try to play him in man coverage, ain't happening. I think
you blow by him? Tice might be able to go by Patrick Peterson.
I don't know about that.
How tall are you, Tyson?
6'4".
Oh, Peterson's probably about 6'2", maybe at best.
Yeah.
He's probably 6'1", 6'2". He's old. I think you probably can jump a lot higher than him.
He can jump. Tice can. I know that.
Yeah.
Talk about that later.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see Tyson if old Pitt will, give you like a 10-day contract or something.
See if he can beat. Yeah, just run goes and post.
That's all you need me for.
Run them really well. Stinda, are you guys need to keep talking Steelers? Or are you good?
No. Do you have did you have anything? I mean, I guess I was asking you, Tyson. I know we talked about it before we came on, but give your honest opinion on the quarterback position with Fields and Wilson.
For sure. I mean, I'd love to see Fields play right away. I think I loved him coming in. Like, I wanted the Steelers to trade up, draft him.
Yep.
But I want to see him play. But I also want to see Wilson get a chance as well, just to see what they both can do. I mean, obviously Fields is our guy. He'll be our guy later on. So yeah.
I hope Fields plays 51% of the snaps.
Yeah.
Because you want that 4th round pick, don't you?
I don't.
Yeah.
No.
I think it goes from it's 6 if he doesn't, and then 4th if he plays 51%. I'm pretty sure, or maybe 5th. I can't remember, but
I think you're right. You get a 4th round pick if he doesn't.
Yeah, if he plays 51, yeah.
I didn't know that was like a thing you could do.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's like a conditional pick. I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope I think Wilson's going to start.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I think they've kind of already announced that, right?
Yeah,
more or less. And then Fields will be the guy after Wilson's gone in a year or so, probably.
Yeah. Right. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm with you on 100% with you all day on Fields right away. I think the hard thing with it is that damn well Wilson is not going there before this was a done deal. He is not going there to be the backup.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you compete against a guy who has won a Super Bowl? He's still got quite a bit left in the tank, but the longevity part is, so what are you going to do? Let Wilson teach him for a year and then he's only on a 1-year deal, and regardless, you just say, see you later.
For sure. We have to give him a big deal. Like, we're going to have to give him a big deal regardless.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's almost like I like it, but at the same time, I would have been fine with them just taking Justin Fields and saying, guess what? We're going to develop you. You've got the skill set. We have the right coaches. We'll get you the players that you need to be successful. Because we were blessed to have somebody for 1 year or for 18 years. That's what they need to get back to, is they need to.
Who was that? I don't know.
Okay. You already know. Me and Tyson, we don't need to tell you anymore. Okay.
He got Big Ben 7 on his license plate.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I said that.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
But that's where I'm at. Like, dude, I'm with you, dude. 100% Tyson. The Fields be nice. I just don't know what you do with Russell Wilson. What if he does implode this year? Then what do you do?
For sure. Yeah.
Fields
Fields should be a starting quarterback, but what's he going to do? Sit there give him 3 or 4 years? By the time, if he sat behind Wilson for 2 or 3 years, he's really no good anymore. He's like a Mason Rudolph at that point.
Yeah. And what if Russell Wilson goes off? Like, I mean,
sure. He could. Yeah, he could. He still got some years left in him, I think.
I think he was pretty underrated last year. He got a lot of hate.
Yeah, he wasn't bad.
Yeah, he threw 26 touchdowns?
Yeah. And I think single-digit interceptions.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he's pretty solid. I mean, big upgrade from Kenny Pickett,
or Trubisky or Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, true.
Any 3 of them.
Yeah.
Hey, Mason, that last couple games of the season, though.
He went on.
Yeah. Hey, Tyson, I got to watch him get beat over the head with that helmet. I was at that game in Cleveland.
You were at that game?
That's crazy.
I was at the 30-yard line, dude.
That's crazy. I didn't know you were at that game either.
Dude,
That's
so
cool.
I was there, right? And Matt Filer, remember, he was a starting left guard. I think he was starting left guard. So my brother dated his wife, and so I know I was talking to her before the game. Matt is the one who actually like grabbed
got him off of
was pulling him off. Yeah.
Oh wow.
But that was an interesting game because, dude, it was like up close. You're like, you just see Myles Garrett just. I'm like, how do you even survive?
Yeah, that was wild. And Myles Garrett is a enormous individual.
He's a scary man.
I would. And if he's coming with a helmet, oof.
Yeah.
Out of the way.
Surprised like they didn't charge him with like assault, or something.
Mason Rudolph took that hit pretty well. Like,
he probably had a serious concussion. But
when that happened, I'm like, how did he just take that right now? That's wild. But
poor guy.
That's going to be, unfortunately, one of the things he's going to be most famous for, probably.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
Getting hit in the head with a helmet by Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
That was cool, though.
Yeah. Speaking of Myles Garrett, TJ Watt got absolutely robbed of Defensive Player of the Year.
I would agree with that, honestly.
Yeah. It's been the past few years, actually. Yeah.
Even Aaron Donald came out and said.
Yeah.
He came out and said that he's been robbed.
Yeah, TJ Watt's the best defensive player in the league right now.
Right now, yeah.
I think hands down. Like,
he
shuts down one side of the field.
Yeah. And he's intercepting passes. Yeah. Like he's just a freak athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's not that Myles Garrett isn't, but
no,
because he is.
I mean, their positions. I mean, you look at Watt. He's getting literally like triple teamed and held. I mean, literally like blatantly held, and the refs look the other way, and then he gets out of it and still is able to, get to the quarterback. Like,
yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, he's a tough dude. He's worth the money. I mean, I still think they'll have to probably restructure his contract. Tyson, like you're talking about, they're going to have to pay some players here soon. George Pickens is going to be one of them.
Yep.
They're probably going to have to, Najee Harris. I think he's underrated. They're probably going to have to pay him.
Was it 3 years of 1,000 yards since he's been in the league?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. He's underrated. I mean, he's a workhorse. I mean, doesn't have a lot of breaking speed, but dude, he can run anybody over and push the pile.
Yeah. I like Warren too. He's really good.
He's a good runner too.
Yeah.
Stud. Yeah. They got a good dude. They got a good 2-back system there. So
for sure.
We'll see how it turns out. Hopefully we're in the Super Bowl and we're going to it. So
yeah. Jalen Warren won me some games in fantasy this year.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
Bears Steelers Super Bowl. Or are we
Yeah, of
predicting that
course.
right now?
We are.
All right.
I'm putting it. So listen, if they make it, are we going?
We are. We have to.
That'd be awesome.
Is that-
You'll be in the middle of basketball season.
I don't care. I'll miss. Get a Super Bowl. Come on.
I mean, if you got some games that week, Tyson, we'll just ask them to reschedule them and
Yeah.
push them off. And we're going.
Where is the Super Bowl next year? You guys know? I probably don't know.
It was Vegas last year.
Yeah.
This last year.
It was. Yeah.
I wonder where I'm not sure. I have to look. Super Bowl.
Are you looking that up?
Wait, where's it at? No, I put the wrong
2025.
25.
Did they come out with it like right
I don't know.
Is there a bunch like in advance?
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
I think I did hear that.
I've never been there either. Never been to New Orleans.
We're going.
No, I'd have to ask the wife that, that question. Let's see if she's down.
You just
a lot of the Midwest would be down there.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. A lot of Steelers fans in Iowa. I've seen.
Oh yeah, there is a lot of Steeler fans around here, for sure. I think there's a lot in Comanche even.
Yeah, there is
more than you think.
But, you know, Terry Bradshaw went to elementary school in Comanche.
Yeah, I do know that.
My grandpa has a yearbook with him in it.
That's crazy.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah. Old TB.
Yep, I knew that. Yeah.
Only if he would have stayed.
That'd been cool.
That'd be cool.
Claim to fame. Terry Bradshaw from Comanche, Iowa.
Dude, he coaches with Coach Coit now. He's the offensive coordinator. Quarterback coach.
We'd bring him back.
Hell yeah.
Or it could be the commentator up in the booth.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. He's kind of losing. You ever listen to him talk though? He kind of like he says some off the wall.
Yeah.
He's all over the place too.
Yeah.
He's been hitting the head a little too many times. CTE may be coming in.
I think it's slow. I think it's there.
He's not as bad as Antonio Brown though, right now on his freaking X
sure.
or whatever. Jeez.
Some of the tweets are just crazy.
We
take that jersey off at halftime.
Say half of them.
Oh, I know.
You've seen some of his tweets, right, Stenda?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't have Twitter, but I've just seen him on Facebook. I'm like, whoa, dude.
Yeah. They're like, some of them are like rated R tweets.
Yeah.
He's going at anybody, man. Wow.
He was going after Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Dude.
Can't bring that one up on
we can't talk about that one.
No.
On the air, yeah.
No. That was wild. All right. We good on the NFL draft? That was good conversation there. So yeah, tune in NFL draft Thursday night. I'll be watching. So we're gonna dive into some MLB umpire talk here. I know Tyson doesn't play baseball, but he follows it, so he can chime in on this. We're gonna focus mainly probably on everyone's favorite umpire, Angel Hernandez.
Oh yeah, baby.
So he's in the news obviously recently with just how bad he is behind the plate and just constantly missing calls back there. So I've seen this stuff posted before on I follow on Twitter this John Boy Media. Have you ever heard of him?
Mm-hmm.
He's a big baseball guy. He's mainly a Yankee guy, but he goes through baseball. It's really cool. He does like anytime there's like an ejection or a fight, he reads their lips and he's saying what they're saying. So it's really cool. His videos are pretty funny, but I found through him there's somebody that does this thing called umpire scorecard. Yep. So each umpire gets their scorecards, and somehow this guy gets them and he posts them, and then he always like reposts them on Twitter. Mm-hmm. And Angel Hernandez is by far the worst umpire on all these scorecards. So the call, they have like different rules, but I wrote this one down. They have a called strike accuracy, and the average MLB umpire is at 88%.
Yeah.
And Angel Hernandez is like either in the low to mid 80s, and he's even sometimes in the upper 70s. So he's well below the average.
Yeah.
And I didn't look this up, but he's been umpiring forever.
Since really 1991.
1991. Holy shit. I did not know that. But with the umpire thing, like when they're constantly, and it's more Angel Hernandez and certain other umpires, because there was one, I sent it to you, Stenda. I think his name's Ben May. He
Yeah, I
called
saw that one.
he called
Yeah.
a perfect, like he
Yeah.
didn't miss
Oh,
a
wow.
single call.
Right.
Wow.
And like that's
impressive.
unreal. Yeah, that's really
impressive.
good. But what do you think there should be some type of, I don't know, punishment's the right word, or reprimand for umpires not living up to that accuracy they should, or what are your thoughts on that, Stenda?
Oh, Tyson, what do you go first? You go ahead.
All right, Tyson.
Yeah, what go, Mark? Yeah.
There should be like some sort of fine if you're below the average. Like
Okay.
that would be a good
Well-
punishment. I mean, to like keep them in check, I guess,
Yeah.
because you see a lot of ejections, even in other sports too. Like basketball's getting really bad.
Yeah.
They just throw them out for anything,
Yep.
So if they should, I think it should be reviewed, like ejections and like bad calls and stuff. Fine them. I mean,
Yeah.
just keep them in check,
Yeah. There should be, I mean, if you okay. So Angel Hernandez, here's what I had down. He's been in the league since 91. He umpired the 02 and 05 World Series, 1999, 09, and 17 All-Star games. Okay. In 2023, he finished as the lowest rated umpire in baseball. He had 161 bad calls, inaccurate, in 10 games after missing a back injury. So in 10 games, he was averaging 16 incorrect calls.
Oh my God.
That's
So,
bad.
Here's my question. Like, you guys, okay, so for both of you, you said, like, what's the punishment? What do you have at our jobs or our careers? There probably are performance objectives, right? Most of us have that. You've got to meet or exceed the standard. He clearly isn't meeting or exceeding the standard.
Yeah.
Why? How can they really at this point continue to ignore this? And at what point do you say, like, yeah, you can't cut it at the top tier anymore? We're going to send you down, or we're just going to send you packing.
Yeah, I mean, I think I put it on the notes, but it's like a player. If they're not performing,
benched.
they get either benched or they go down to the minor leagues, in baseball. So like, why can't they do that to umpires? Or like, hey, like if you miss 16 calls in a 10 game, or average 16 missed calls, that what it was
in one game.
So
161.
then I mean, yeah, there's got to be something. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if fining's the right.
Yeah,
I mean, because you can't. I don't know if you can really.
Yeah,
I mean, I get it. Like, you need to send a message, but like, you don't fine a player if he strikes out 3 times in a game. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
You can't do that. But like, I think there's just got to be something for umpires. Like especially at that level. They're professional umpires, so they shouldn't be making that many bad calls, so it's crazy. But I don't know what the right answer is, but
yeah.
and he's been since 1991, so that's what, it's 2024, so that's 33 years he's been umpiring.
Wow.
And he's been bad since I've known him, since I've been following baseball.
Since 33 years.
Yeah, since 1991.
Yeah, exactly.
So, oh my gosh.
I mean, I tried looking up, I don't know if you guys know this, or if maybe you have a little bit more info. I tried to look up like the requirements to become an umpire, which are pretty basic, like the vision, your health and all those things. But my question, like what I found, they have to have 20/20 vision, corrected or uncorrected, which would obviously be common, but I couldn't find anything on like, do they have to submit to like a physical every single year? Do they have to like submit to like some sort of testing that shows like, hey, there's, like maybe there's some sort of umpire testing before the season that shows they're still accurate and they can do those things? Or is it something where they just get in there, they meet the requirements, they do everything they need to? And because vision would be a big thing. Like, and especially when a ball is coming 100 miles an hour, which, because it's like his calls, that last week he had that 3 in the same at bat. He had 3 pitches that were 4 to 6 inches off of the plate.
Yeah.
You're telling me, I mean, to me, it's almost like, is his eyesight bad? Because he's not backing out when you see the call. He's literally in there and he's calling it a strike.
Well, he's been umping for 33 years, so he's probably in his at
60,
least
62,
60.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, does he have something against the batter too? Like that could be a thing. Like
Yeah.
what's his name in the NBA with Chris Paul?
oh yeah, the ref.
Yeah, that ref
I
that
can't
hates
remember
Chris
his name.
Paul.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about though. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be something like that too. And yeah, you just kind of never know.
Those are the pitches. So I don't know.
Wait,
Those 3 were called strikes.
that is.
Those were balls. I don't know. You probably can't. You can't see it on
I
there.
think
But I have the 3 red ones for if you want to see
Wait.
listening.
That
The
was
3 red ones are all called strikes.
That's like on the
Yeah.
opposite line of the
Yeah.
batter's box.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just wild. So but to your point, Stenda, like, okay, so umpiring at the major league level is not easy.
no.
I mean, the ball is coming, like you said, 100 miles an hour. The way these guys can spin the ball, the movement of the ball is insane. The other thing that the other aspect of it is like the catchers are really good at framing pitches.
Yeah.
You know, so they know how to frame, to make it look like a strike. So it is tough, but when you're just consistently bad, I think like something has to happen. And I think with major league umpires, I think once you're in and you stay in, they just let you stay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You look at
Just because he's been there for so long
right.
shouldn't give him a pass.
Yeah. But you look at like Joe West. I know he retired a couple of years ago. He umpired for like 30 plus years, maybe even longer. You know, all these guys are in so long, and it's I don't know what the right answer is, but
Yeah.
something. I mean, you punish players for being bad and benching them or whatever. So
Or even like a game suspension or
yeah, maybe. Yeah.
something
If you're
like that.
calling strikes like that on that
for sure,
picture,
yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
Or
I mean,
a
like, do you guys think
squeeze
is it,
Or-
no, go ahead.
sorry, or you just he doesn't get to umpire behind the plate. You
Yeah,
skip his
yeah,
turn.
yeah.
Like you skip his
Oh, for
turn or
sure.
something,
Yeah.
you know, like I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be good. Let him
I'd skip
umpire
his turn.
behind the plate.
Yeah.
He'd be scary though on the base. He makes some bad calls on the bases though too.
Yeah, it's the base path too.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Like, so do you
I think
guys
they
think
go-
it's? No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Nope. I was just gonna say I think they go in rotation.
Did that?
Like,
yeah, is that how they?
Each they have like a crew
Yeah,
and they just rotate like bases, umpires based on
yeah.
it's
Probably
like a pitcher. Like
yeah,
a pitcher pitches every
Pitching
5.
rotation.
Yeah, it's like an umpire rotation
Yep.
with that.
That would make sense. And I don't know. I don't know much, but you're probably right because I can't imagine. Do you think those guys can be like, "Hey, I'm going to do this next 4 games. I'm doing the plate," or do you think MLB's like,
Yeah,
"No, you got
I think the MLB makes them rotate.
do they?"
So I don't think they can. I don't think they do. I don't think they do 2 in a row
Okay.
because they do series in the major league. You know, they play
Yep.
3 or 4 game series against teams. So
Yep.
you're getting a different home plate umpire basically each game in the series.
Well, my
Sorry, I didn't mean to
question to you guys
interrupt
is-
your question. Yeah.
No, my question to you guys is it a lack of focus, or just the fact that, terrible judgment on if you want to say depth perception, hand-eye coordination, they're nervous. Watching I watched like 10 of his videos a day of him doing it and to see like, is he pulling off of it? Like, is he pulling his head? Because if you were doing that, he doesn't. And it's like, so is it a lack of focus or is it the fact that he's just so old now that it's like, he just can't make that judgment call at that level where it's like, it's just too kind of like we talked about, like quarterback play. It's just too fast. Like,
I mean, if you can't make the judgment, why still do it? Like just,
Right.
just retire at that point. Like you've been in the league for 30 plus years. I mean,
Yep.
when is the time to call it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I don't know with him specifically. Like I wrote it down here, but as like a major league hitter, and you like know that Angel Hernandez is behind the plate for your game, like, are you already mentally like, oh, he's gonna make some bad freaking call, or I'm gonna have to swing? The zone's gonna be way outside tonight. Are they thinking that? Probably, yeah. You know what I mean? And you just don't know what he's gonna call. Like, it's just crazy. So I don't know. It'd be tough. I'm sure major league hitters are Pitchers probably love it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
they're getting 4 inches off the plate.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be tough.
Yeah.
I mean, umpiring's not easy.
No,
it's
no,
not.
it's not.
I mean,
we're not saying that.
I
Do you-
umpired 12-year-olds. It's not easy behind
Yeah.
the plate, but
Yeah.
I can't imagine 100 miles per hour fastball. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
it'd be hard. It's
Yeah,
hard.
oh, for
yeah.
sure.
But,
But like, at what point, like, you can't just not call those?
well, yeah, and
know what I mean?
also
That
the
was
other
that was
that was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, if you've been doing it for 33 years,
you should know.
you shouldn't be that missing calls that bad, unless, like Stinna said, his eyesight's going bad or something.
Like, you should
But,
know the strike zone.
Yeah,
like,
right. Yeah.
If you've been doing it for that long, and he's probably been doing it longer than that to even get in the MLB.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Speaking of getting into the MLB, so I was looking up, the minor league does an interesting thing with umpires. So basically, like, half the games are done with an automated strike zone, and the home plate umpire has an earpiece in, and someone's up top with they call it ABS, I think it was called. Yeah, automatic ball strike system. And the someone up there is, like, in the ear saying strike ball, and he makes the call based off of the computer. So they do that for half games, and the other half, the umpire's actually calling it. And they get the pitcher, batter, or catcher can challenge a ball or strike, and each team gets up to 3. So I don't know if that's something. I don't know if the MLB will ever go to that. But it's interesting, at least.
Well, it's got to be a guinea
It's
pig.
almost like robot umps for half the year.
I don't think I'd like that.
Yeah.
I mean, close calls, especially, like, yeah, you're gonna.
It's only balls and strikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're gonna lean, like, one way or the other, So, and if you're a fan of that team and they make a good call for your team, you want that, obviously. But
Yeah.
other way around, I mean, it's 50-50 thing.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think I'd like it personally, but I could see
there'd be less ejections.
for sure. For sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Would it put umpires out of jobs though, or would it?
No,
be
they still there
okay,
because they still have to.
Yeah.
They actually make the
call.
They make the
Technically,
call.
okay,
But then they have to be there for, like, a play-to-plate call out
Yeah,
safe
true,
and stuff like
true.
that. So,
Yep.
but yeah, they're still there, but it's
Not
like
as-
robot ump
yeah,
technically, I guess. But
I
yeah,
don't know, man.
It-
It's
yeah.
interesting.
could be something that they go to. You never know. So,
Well, if they're doing it at they're doing this at AAA,
yeah, AAA. I think this is the second year now they've done it.
so they must be doing it. I would assume they're probably, or just opinion, they're probably doing some sort of study with it, and then they'll get done with it and be like, "Hey, we could do this in MLB, or this just isn't going
Yeah.
to work." Because
Yeah.
why would they implement that one step below the MLB
Right.
if they're not
And
they're not just doing it for fun?
I think I read an article that Manfred, I think the commissioner for the Major League Baseball, he said that MLB is not close to that yet.
Yeah.
Of the robot umps, I guess you could say. So it's interesting though.
Yeah.
I mean, and the challenge has to happen, like, within 2 seconds of the pitch, or they don't get it. Like,
Okay.
wow.
you have
So
to
it's like
you have to
right
challenge
away.
it right away.
Okay.
Yeah, and it can only be pitcher, batter, catcher to make the challenge call.
Okay. So like
it's
coach
can't do it. No,
Yeah.
It's probably usually catcher or batter, I'd say, but yeah, very interesting.
It
stuff.
is.
All right, Tice, we're gonna get into some questions for you now.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna ask you some sports questions, mainly about Comanche athletics. So as you said in the beginning there, you're a 3-sport athlete at Comanche: football, basketball, and track. The question I'm going to ask you first is, so you're a receiver in football.
Mhm.
You obviously guard in basketball,
Yep.
high jump, sprinter type in track. So catching a 66-yard post route touchdown in a playoff game, dunking a basketball, or high jumping 6'10". Which feeling is the best? If you had to answer for one of them, what's your dunking?
That's a tough question.
Yeah.
I'd have to go.
You don't have to.
I'd have to go high jump, I think.
Okay. All right.
I mean, not many people are doing that in the state. So, like,
I don't think anyone else is doing that in the state besides
No.
you, though, right?
Yeah. Also, I mean, not many people are doing that in football or basketball. So
Yeah.
yes, that's not a great reason, but
Well,
What did you high jump?
6'10".
Oh my gosh.
I know I think I have it later, but we can talk about it now. 6'10". That's the highest jump in the entire state of Iowa. 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A.
Yeah.
And is it still 11th in the nation?
I'm still probably tied for 15th now.
He's
but
the 15th highest in
somewhere
the
around
in
there,
the
yeah.
entire nation of high school athletes.
I was just gonna say how many. You could say Iowa. How many people are doing that in any other state? Like 15th in the
Not very-
entire country.
Entire country, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Wild.
Hey, sign some autographs real quick for Coach Coy.
I'll have him sign something for Knox when he's on the way out.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. Hey, get a couple extra just in case, because I got to take it to Pawn Stars and pawn it off once he gets drafted or the Olympics or whatever.
Yeah, it's awesome. I thought you were gonna say dunking. I was guessing dunking.
Yeah, I mean that
Like
doesn't
dunking
happen.
and putting it on somebody.
Yeah, that doesn't happen much.
No.
I mean, yeah, I guess none of them do, but
Yeah. All right. Next question here for you. So obviously Comanche being a small school, and I brought Tyson to had a meeting with the 8th grade boys, and I brought Tyson with me to kind of talk to him about being multi-sport athletes. He did a really good job talking to the kids. And so this question is kind of similar to what you said or how you answered at that meeting. But why do you think it is important to be a multiple sport athlete? And what does that do for you for each sport?
sure. Every sport like builds on each other. Like football gets you stronger for basketball and track. Track gets you faster for football and basketball gets you conditioned for all your other sports. So they all build on each other. It's important to really do something. Like even if you're not a multiple sport athlete, do a sport in high school. Like that's really important. Or just any activity. Just stay busy. Like don't get wrapped up in just school. It's important to do other stuff. In my opinion.
Yeah. Well, and I obviously encourage kids to do multiple sports, and I know there's some kids that say like, well, I'm going to play basketball, but then you're not really doing anything during the other sport for basketball. So doing another sport, first of all, is going to help you not be burned out of that sport. You're only the only sport you're doing it. Plus you're going to be, obviously getting stronger and things like that, but it's going to help you mentally.
For sure.
It's obviously also going to help you in a competitive standpoint, and being rather than maybe going to an open gym or going to like play a pickup game at the park or something like that. That's not really, could be competitive. Yeah. But it's not actual competing against other schools type things.
It also builds relationships with your classmates. You make lifelong friendships out of sports in high school.
Absolutely.
So that's another really important thing to me, especially.
No doubt.
It's crazy. But you're doing these sports. It's not like you're mediocre at any of them though. Like you're the best or,
Yeah.
You don't see that very often.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. He's one of our better football guys. He's one of our better basketball players, and he's obviously flying around on the track too. He's one of our faster guys and highest jumpers. But Tyson's pretty humble though. Like I said, I think I said that before we went live, but he's not going to sit up here and toot his own horn too much, but that's all right. Next question. So you obviously, and I asked you this question at school. I sent you a text, and you had your mom text you. And you come from obviously a long line in your family, and this is more probably with the track part of it. So your dad participated at Drake, right? I believe you said.
Yep.
In track. Your mom was a 3-time state champion in 4x4 in track. your brother Will, state champion in the 400.
Yep.
Carson, your other brother, was in 2 relays, I believe, at
Yep.
state.
Yep.
And your sister Emmy, high jump, long jump at state.
Yep.
So obviously there is a long line of successful track athletes, and you probably got most of your speed and jumping from your mom. It sounds like if your dad's listening. So is there, when you, I mean, I know track a lot of times is natural.
Yeah.
You know, like you're,
Yeah.
I mean, I think like in track, you're either,
Faster.
I mean, either fast or you're not.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
I mean,
sure.
obviously you got distance, you got some mile
Yeah.
stuff that you don't have to be as fast, but, and then you can either jump or you can't. I mean, you can work on your
Jump or
technique.
throw.
You can work on your
Yeah,
technique and
for
all
sure.
that stuff to make yourself better with throwing and jumping. But running, yeah, there's technique involved, but
Mhm.
speed is speed, though. You
Yeah,
know.
for
So,
sure. Yeah.
I guess growing up and then where you are now, like, and I know in your family a little bit, you know, I doubt there was much pressure on you. Did you feel any pressure to be like a really good track athlete, or is it just kind of in your blood and you just do it, just reacting?
Yes and no. I mean, obviously my goals were the same as my mom and my brother, and
Yeah.
like win state,
Yeah.
win Drake, you know. But yeah, I guess there's pressure that comes with that. Like you want to be as best you can be
Right.
at track, but not much pressure, you know. Obviously, you get nervous for anything, but not really, not a lot of pressure. I'd say it's just kind of natural.
Yeah. That's what I was wondering. Stinda, I know you got a couple of questions for Tyson. You want to fire off one of yours here?
Yeah. So here's a question. You kind of, I can tell you're obviously a very humble gentleman,
Mhm.
but tell me this, and for anybody watching, and obviously kids that are going to be like you someday, a top tier athlete, how do you stay humble when you know you are the best at what you're doing, competing in?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm not gonna lie, it is kind of difficult. You know, it's hard to stay humble in some moments, but I mean, it's just kind of like a natural thing that comes to me. I mean, I'm not really a huge guy that is boasting, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Right word.
and I think, I don't know. I know we probably said this before too, but like it's okay to I mean, to be a little bit cocky.
Yeah,
You have
yeah,
some cockiness and
yeah.
confidence
You-
to like,
yeah. Confidence for sure, yeah.
most, most track meets, you're going to be in the top 3 in high jump for sure. Like
Oh,
going into it for most
yeah,
part. I
there's-
mean, once you get to state, it's going to be obviously different, but
Yeah, there's not much like competition. Like I don't want to say there's not a lot of competition around here, but like I should win most meets that I go to, you know.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just.
But you're humble about it.
Yeah,
You're not
yeah.
walking into the meet and be like, "Oh, I'm going to win this," and not, like
Yeah.
your mindset's still good, and you know what you have to do to get to that.
Yeah,
For sure. That's a good question, Stinda. You got another one for him?
Yeah. I know that's Tyson. That's probably kind of hard to answer because you're like,
Yeah.
what do you do? But I mean, I guess my next question would be is, obviously playing at the level that you are as a leader, it's important, or should I ask you, is it important to take other athletes aside and let them know their value to your team?
Oh, for sure. Especially in the running aspect, like relays wise, and I guess football and basketball too.
Mhm.
They need to know like that they're a part of this team. They are important to this team no matter what they do. Like even people that don't see the field a lot, they have a lot of importance in practice, getting people ready for games, football games. I mean, that's one of the really big things that Coit explains to us in the beginning, you know, that everyone has a role on his team. It's not just because you don't get to play doesn't mean you're not doing anything, you know. So I think it is a huge thing that people know that they're important to the team, like as far as like
Do you
practice-wise even.
I know you're not like a you're not like in your face, like getting
Yeah.
on type
Oh yeah.
or people like kind of leader. But do you kind of like behind the scenes have to sometimes like tell somebody like, hey, like get your stuff together, or like, hey, we got to focus here, or that kind of
For
thing?
sure. Especially like the younger guys that don't necessarily know what high school sports are about. Yeah, that's a big thing. You need to talk to them right away, get them on the right track so they can be the best athlete they can be, So I think that it's important to take people aside, tell them what they need to do, how they can get better, improve, and stuff like that. So
For sure.
Yeah. It's kind of like I said, I mean, I would imagine that's probably like, would you say it's less probably in track, especially if you're doing something individual,
Yeah.
but
yeah,
football and
it's bigger in
basketball.
football and basketball, but
Yeah.
I mean, there's some aspects in track, I guess.
Well, track, I mean, you got your relays.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, but you're trying individually, you're trying to win those events for your team score.
Oh, for
So
sure.
there's some aspects there, but
Yeah, and it's important, like kids coming up in track too. Like we graduate a lot of kids this year, so it's important to get kids like you're gonna be that kid next year. Like you're gonna need to step up in that way.
Right.
So for relays, especially, like we lose 3 to 4 guys. Like I'm the only one returning for our big relays anyway. So
you can probably teach. I would imagine you probably give a lot of, the way you do things, probably some of your advice input to them so they can. I'm sure that's probably very beneficial to the kids that are underneath you.
Sorry, Tyson's dad just sent me a text.
What did he say?
I'll say it. He said dick move on his mom being better at running and jumping. Well, I'll say Tyson probably got his basketball skills from your dad.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Whitey, yeah.
My mom
Dude, he's a baller. I remember him as a kid.
He played
He played at college, lacrosse, right, in Wisconsin. Yep. Yeah. I just gotta give Whitey a hard time.
He used to own that MDA tournament.
Yep.
Yeah.
When he'd play with him, and I think back in the day, like Carl Small.
Yep.
Those guys, dude. I'm telling you, man, those guys could ball, man. They could play.
Yeah. I heard Whitey could ball. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen him play back in the he can ball. He's a baller.
Can he still ball, Tice?
I haven't seen him play in about.
Yeah, it's been a while. Probably. Yeah.
He's had some stuff going.
Yeah.
I don't say. I could say I could beat him pretty confidently now.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
That's awesome. Sorry, Whitey. I'll give it back.
I'll be humble except for that. Right there.
Yeah.
Except for when you're going against your dad.
Yeah, or family members.
Or your brothers. Yeah. It's fun. Cindy, you got any other questions? You want one more?
I just said that the last one was, one of the things, Tyson, that I learned from sports, especially in high school, was it really helped me learn how to work with people that I didn't like, and that was one thing, like, not that there was a lot of guys I didn't like, but, there were definitely a handful of those guys over the years that I couldn't stand in school, class, whatever, but then realized, hey, if we want to, football, basketball, baseball, how, again, coming together and learning how to compromise and make that work. That's what I learned. What have you learned most from being active in sports? Like, what has it prepared you for, maybe not necessarily maybe sports down the road, but even just life in general?
Oh, for sure. Like there's obviously been people like, that you don't necessarily like coming in, but they like you see a different side of them, and it can also like you see a different side, so you might even end up liking them. So it's important for like later on in life with jobs and stuff. Like you have to work with people, even if you don't like them, and you might get to know them later down the road and even become friends with them. So, I think it is important to do sports for high school for that reason as well. That's another big reason. just getting to know people is a big thing before you go on and not liking them, I guess. So yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, and I mean, I can, like, I've been out of high school for 21 years now, going in May, and I have my 3 main guys that I still talk to and hang out with from high school, but I run into some other kids that I don't really still communicate with as much, but when I see them, like, we're talking about like actual, like, when we played sports in high school, like, we remember vividly like certain games, so we'll always have that connection.
Yeah, it'll
like,
give
and
you
then
something to bond over.
yeah,
too,
you can
for
bond
the rest of
over,
your
and
life.
then obviously then you can ask about their families and all that kind of stuff and things like that. But I agree, like, the relationship building thing is huge, especially high school sports. And and then even like as a coach, like, there's going to be like games that when I run into other former athletes, like, we talk about certain games, or like, hey, remember when I did this, or remember when you did this on the field, or against this team, like, so it's cool. Yeah. It's very important. I agree.
Yep.
And I'm sure you have that too, Stenda, with, looking back on your playing days and all that.
Yeah. It's all that. I mean, that was honestly the more that I looked at it, over the years, because it's been 17 years, is really, it was just like being on the same team with some guys I'm like, I couldn't stand. Like, I didn't, like, even in class where I'm like, dude, I just wanted to literally pull them out of their desk and throw them around. But then when you, like you said, Tyson, you made a good point. You see it from a different side, and now you guys are all doing the same thing, and you have the same common goal to win. So you set that ego aside a bit, and you're like, all right, what are we going to do? I got to work through this somehow. Because I even now, as a 35-year-old, like, at work, like, I think everybody has those coworkers and stuff that you just you like want to put the blinders on, but you can't.
Sure.
You're going to have to deal with them, so you got to find a way to at least be cordial and civil. So that's what I learned the most. I mean, I was obviously 10th the athlete that Tyson was, so I do different things to get on the court. So
I mean, between the lines, your boys, or girls or whatever, you're playing. So, and if you understand that, then you put those differences aside, then usually you're going to have successful teams. Because you're, like on the football team, I mean, you're not friends with everybody on the team.
Oh,
you know,
for
like
sure.
you aren't a bad teammate or like anything, but you're not hanging out with all of those kids outside of football or even basketball or track. So, but yeah, you got to make sure you're connected on the field, and that's all that really matters. So,
and you even build friendships through like just being with them every day. You know what I mean? Like, some kids that I'd never think I'd like interact with outside of school, like that play football. You get closer with them, and that's cool thing to see. So,
yeah, for sure. You're definitely a humble fellow. That's probably why you have a lot of success. Because I feel like once you let the ego get too big, even though when you're a really good athlete, I think that hinders them. So I think you being humble, you're definitely a humble fellow. So
yeah, I'm gonna ask some like specific sports things here. So, I like sharing stats because I'm a stat guy. So, like, football, this past season, you had 15 catches, 395 yards, 3 touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
But the stat that really stands out is you averaged 26.3 yards per catch. So obviously with that, Tyson was our deep threat guy. I mean, we had Josh Worsama too that could catch the deep ball as well, but Tyson was really kind of like your first year as like a true receiver in high school, because your freshman year
I was JV, just kind of figuring out everything.
And then your sophomore year he dislocated his elbow in summer basketball and missed the football season. So this past year was like really his first year like truly playing a receiver. So the first couple of weeks he had to kind of learn route running and positioning of his body and like where to find the holes in the zones and stuff like that. And even his hands were, at first a little rocky, but he improved, he got better, he wanted to get better. And his post route is probably your best route, and
I had to figure that out even.
Yeah, he had to figure that out too. But once he got that figured out, and with his speed and his strides, like if you watch this kid run, like his strides are unreal. Like when he runs and gets to, you're not like I want to say you're like a Jordan Lawrence, like blazing speed,
No.
but like with your strides, you're
top
like a
speed
gazelle.
Yeah.
Like seriously, he looks like a gazelle running. But like he was just great at it, and probably I would say the best post route runner in the state of Iowa.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, and that's one of the reasons why that 26.3 yards per catch was good. So looking into next year, you're going to be probably, I'll say you are going to be like our primary receiver. So kind of what is your mindset, or where's your mindset of kind of being more of a focal point of our offense? And how are you going to look to improve on those stats next year?
I'm excited. I'm excited to be the guy. I guess.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm excited to see what I can do with the ball. More with Josh. He's football. He's going to play football in college.
Yeah.
So and it's just going to be exciting. It's pretty much a new whole team because we graduated a lot of kids. So
yeah, we are.
I'm excited to see what we can do. As far as offense and defense.
Yeah,
we lost what?
We're losing like
10?
We're losing 9 starters on offense, and I think 8 on defense.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh wow.
So it's just going to be pretty much a reset.
It will be. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what we can do.
Good. For sure. And maybe some backup quarterback reps too in the future too. But
coming in, I was a quarterback.
Yeah, he came in as a quarterback.
So I wasn't. The receiver thing was pretty new to me.
Yeah.
And I played slot.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yep.
Year, so.
But yeah, and the other thing, so Josh Worstma was our primary receiver this year, and his junior year he only had 405 yards receiving.
Mm-hmm.
He had 395, and this year he had like 800 and some. So you're going to be used probably a little similar to how we used him this year. So we're looking forward to that, and seeing what he can do out there on the field. It's going to be awesome.
You gonna get him one-on-one or what?
Yeah, we'll get him one-on-one a lot. Just sending him on some goes and some post against some 2 safety looks, and then he'll be involved a little more, maybe some jet sweep stuff too, and he runs like curl routes really well, finds the opening in those, so he can run the short stuff too. So looking forward to it. Stenda hopefully will be at some of our games, so he'll be able to watch you.
Get to watch you in action.
Yeah,
I get at least one game. I know that on the sideline. So
yeah, that's the deal. Yeah, he might be on the sideline. So
sweet.
Yeah,
I won a bet. So
yeah, he did win a bet. Yeah.
What was the bet?
I don't. Go ahead, Stenda. Do you remember what it was?
I don't honestly.
I don't
remember what it was. Yeah,
I don't remember what it was.
I don't know. Maybe my wife can remind me. But we did make a bet. Yeah, what was that bet?
I don't. It's gonna make me mad now because something I would. If he won, he got whatever. Mine was, and I would get to be on the sidelines for one of the games.
Yeah,
and I won.
I do not remember. That was like I think on our one of our first podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
That was 12 weeks ago.
Yeah,
that was a long time ago. I don't remember that. But anyway.
So
a couple other questions. So we'll talk basketball track here real quick, and then we getting close to our tier talk here. So basketball, you averaged 13.6 points per game, second leading scorer on this year's team. For the next season, you had the highest point production returning. DeMarian's graduating, our leading scorer. So new Coach Lynch coming in also. How are you feeling about basketball, or what are your thoughts on there? You're going to probably be more of a probably primary scorer type for us next year on the basketball level. So how do you see yourself going through that?
I'm excited. A lot of new opportunities on these sports coming up my senior year. So it's going to be rough the first few games. I already know, like they're going to focus more stopping me, slowing me down.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to adjust to that and, still make plays as best I can through not just scoring, passing the ball as well. So, and obviously playing defense. That's one of my main things I'm good at. So,
yeah, he uses his length pretty good. He's got long arms and is able to get some steals and breakaway dunks when he gets those. It's always fun. See Tyson get is that a good feeling when you get a steal and you're on a breakaway and you know you're gonna yoke one down?
Well, the only one I had last year, I got taken out. Like,
yeah, I was at that. I remember that. Yeah.
So I haven't really got to.
You had
Oh yeah, I had one
against
Wilton. I had one against Wilton.
Okay, that wasn't home. I wasn't at that one.
No.
You had 2 in a row against somebody. Not breakaways, but dunks. I can't remember. It was a home game.
Was it Anamosa or was it
maybe I can't remember.
Was it that Woodward?
It might have been the Woodward Academy.
Yeah,
I
dunked on that one.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely getting other people involved maybe too. But
yeah, for sure.
It'd be good there. And then track obviously going on right now. We talked about the high jump, the 6'10", and where that's at. But in the 400, you're right now. I think I looked it up on Go Bound. You're 10th right now in 2A, I believe, in 400.
Yep.
Is that right? So 51 second 400, 51-1-1. Part of the sprint medley team that is currently 5th in 2A, the 5th best time in 2A. You also sprinkled in you've been on the 4x2, 4x4 as well, right?
Yep.
So a little bit, pretty much every relay. So you also qualified for the Drake relays.
Yep.
And for people that may be listening or don't know, Drake relays is basically it's the top times, jumps, throws from 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A classes, and they have cutoffs at each event. I don't know all the cutoff numbers, but each event has cutoffs. So high jump, how many kids go? 32?
24.
24.
So there's like a standard you can meet.
Yep.
So if you jump 6'7", you automatically make it no matter what. And they take, say, like 26 kids jump 6'7", like that. It doesn't happen, but like they'd still take the 27.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And if there's a 3-way tie or whatever, how many tie at 24, that take everyone.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That's just high jump though. That's just jumping events.
Yeah.
But running is
and then running.
different.
They have different depending on the relay or.
And then the 4x1 is they take 98 teams from the state.
Yeah. And you guys are in that 4x1.
Yep.
4x1.
Is it 96 or 98? It's somewhere in
90 something.
Yep.
But anyway, it's basically it's kind of like a state event for all the classes together. They're all together and the best of the best, basically. And also with the Drake relays, there's college athletes there.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I believe they're sometimes like Olympian athletes too, or no?
Yep.
Every once in a while. So have you've experienced Drake relays before, right?
I have. Yep.
Yeah. So kind of explain the experience of that, like seeing even the college athletes or maybe like possibly an Olympian while you're either watching them run or you're getting ready to compete.
Yeah, so it's a whole different ball game from state, because it's like the best kids in the state, well, so state, but like,
but it's just state's just your class.
Yeah.
Like you're competing against your class.
Yeah, watching the best kids in the state compete is something to see. Like it's one of the coolest events, you can see in all sports. So, and they do an elite mile. So they take kids from like the surrounding states.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of like kids that are right at like a 4-minute mile.
Jeez.
And so that's a really cool event to watch. We watched that last year.
4-minute mile.
Like
running that. Stinda.
I think
could you run a 4-minute mile, Stinda?
I can probably on a treadmill I could do like 7:30, but that's on a treadmill.
Yeah, that's insane. That's wild.
On a treadmill.
I think 4:03 won it last year, somewhere around there.
That's crazy.
And there's Olympians there. I watched an Olympian, I think, run the steeplechase.
Nice.
Which is the like where you jump over that big
the water
thing into the water.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So
you're jumping. So tell me, who can I ask you? There can't be anybody else jumping 6'10" in the state of Iowa.
Yeah, I'm the number 1 jumper in the state right
Number
now.
1 in the entire state. Yeah.
So I mean, you're like you'll win Drake, and then you're gonna win state.
Yeah, if everything goes right. Yeah.
I mean, what's anybody for jumping, high jumping? What's anybody coming close to even?
There's 2 kids at 6'8", I believe.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Weiskopf, right?
Weiskopf, yep, he's
Remember
going to
him?
Iowa for football. And then another kid just jumped out. I don't know where he was from. I didn't look that up.
Yeah.
And then there's probably 4 kids that are jumping 6'7". So.
But that's a big difference. 6'7", 6'10", that's a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Well, you tried 7 foot and you were close to clearing that, right?
Yeah,
You
I probably should have cleared it, but
yeah. At the meet he did 6'10". He put it to 7, and I remember I think Marty showed me the video, Marty Schnorr, and you barely clipped it with your butt. And they were saying the pole was kind of uneven a little bit, or what?
But it was 6'10" in the middle and 7 foot in the middle.
Oh,
so
okay.
They measured that. It was broken, but it was higher on one end, so it was
Gotcha.
I got you.
Either way, like 6'10's insane.
Freaking nuts. Good Lord.
So
the Drake thing. I've never been to a Drake relay, but heard it's just awesome. I couldn't imagine competing in it. And I know we've had a lot of kids compete in it over the years, like your entire family has, so they kind of know the experience, and you followed it with your brothers and your sister. So I've been to a state track meet, and that's really cool too. They have the announcer. Is it Mike something?
Mike.
Jake. Yeah, I can't remember his last name. And then his first name Mike, right? Or Jay. Yeah, I don't know. But he's unbelievable. This announcer. He's kind of announcing as they're running. And have you ever been to a state track meet, Stenda?
No, but I have been to Drake when I was in high school.
Drake.
Yeah. That was like, I think I went junior year.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
It's one of the coolest. State is one of the coolest state events, and out of all sports, I'd say. It
was awesome when I went. Yeah, it was
you get to run on a blue track at Drake.
Mike J.
Mike J. That's what it is.
Yeah, I knew it was Mike something. Your dad just sent me that text too. Yeah. Mike J. just announcing and just all the information he has, like in state. He's like, if Tyson Seeser is running the 400, he'd be like, he was a Drake qualifier in this event.
Yeah, he's an outstanding high jumper.
Outstanding high jumper. Like just it's cool how he has all that, and just a really cool experience. Like track's fun to be around for sure. You got anything you want to add? Any sports or anything you want to roll there? Or?
Not that I can think.
All right, Stenda, you got any more questions for Tice?
Tice, I got one for you, man. All right,
we go.
Before we roll into tier talk, give me your best Coach Coit quote or sayings for football.
Boy,
I got to think here.
If I'm putting you on the spot here, he's got to have something that he says repeatedly, or
like the Tomlinisms with Mike Tomlin.
Yes, that's what I was trying to get at. Yeah,
I know one I say a lot.
Say it.
Like it's a great day to be great.
Oh yeah. That's the biggest one. Yeah, I blanked there, but
yeah, I say it's a great day to be great a lot.
Yeah,
like when we're warming up, we're stretching.
Let's get after it.
Yeah. I'm not like
you don't have too many, but
too many of them.
But when you say them, there.
Yeah. Or when any good stories of when I get mad or like
give me something. Yeah. Give me something.
You don't see that
that
side of him very often, but it's scary when you do.
I remember this year, I think it was like the second or third practice. That one. Like Bryce was yelling at Demarion.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So Demarion, he's Demarion. He has a pretty big ego.
Yeah,
he does.
Yeah. And
you don't have to bash him, but no, I'm joking.
Sometimes, he thinks he knows more than he does, and Bryce is obviously the leader of the team. And I don't even know why they were mad at each other, but they were going back and forth yelling at each other. And Coit's just like, he's letting it go. And then he finally like just blows up on him. What are you guys doing? Like, you can't be yelling at each other or whatever. And then he's like, get on the line. And then we ran pretty good for that one.
I'm pretty, like, I get on them when I need to, but I'm only like, I only have like maybe one or two
a
like
year.
complete
Yeah.
blow ups a year so far.
You're pretty composed.
And usually I know when to time them, or I know when we need to do it for sure. And I think that sends a better message than if I'm always yelling and screaming.
Yeah.
Then they're not going to
sure.
listen to me.
And
so
they respect you a lot more.
Yeah,
that way.
yeah. So
And it's one thing to be like the yelling like positive to
yeah.
motivate, not yelling. Yeah, I mean, I think we've all been a part of that where you had a coach that, I mean, I had one and I had him in football, and dude, all he ever did was F-bomb, F-bomb this, grab me by the face mask. And, you know, you just got used to it. It was like, all right, whatever. But, you know, looking at it now, it's like, I could take that. There were some kids that couldn't, but how they responded to it was not. Nobody's responding to that. No.
Yeah. No, you can't.
But look at, hey, see, I like
Oh,
here.
what? Oh, you
Said
see
he's a
Sean
lunatic.
Warren.
See, it's got to be something. I mean, I was hoping. Come on, Tyson. I hope you'd have some sort of dirt or something, man.
No, Coit's pretty composed.
Except for game time, I get.
Oh yeah,
crazy.
Coit's a whole nother beast. And
Friday nights,
Friday nights.
I'm pretty wound up in those situations, but
you've got some good pictures, like in the Quad City Times. Like you could tell, like, you know, like where you're going, swipe the hand of a kid there. Like you can tell you're definitely in that moment. You're like,
oh man,
let's go. Baby.
I had let's see, it would have been 2019. Mount Vernon, they'd always just smoked us, and we come out and just put it on them, like 35-0. That would have been 2020. It was the 2019 year. 2019? It was the year before the dome year. And I mean, they were good. We were good, and we just put it on them. And I was just going crazy in that game. And I remember one of the other coaches that we played, he like watched the film of it, and he's like, "What are you doing on the sidelines?" I was like, I don't know, man. I was going crazy. He's like, "You're on the field half the time." I'm like, yeah. I go, that was a fun game. So like, I get into a little bit running down the sidelines and stuff too. But
you and Coach Beal get into it pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You gotta have that's an emotional game, man.
For sure.
Emotional game. For sure. For sure.
You got to show the passion. I think that's important.
Yeah.
For sure.
Obviously, Coach Lawrence too. He's watching.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you say? The rest of us coaches are actually fearful at times. I suddenly, gosh.
I see. I think there's more to this. I think you guys have both come up with some little plan that you weren't going to talk about a lot of this stuff because
no, we
had an agreement before we hit.
Signed a non-disclosure.
You signed a non-disclosure.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I know what's going on.
For sure.
All right. Whatever.
Sean, the rest of us coaches are actually fearful at times, unsettling.
You know, him saying that though, it's crazy though, because there are some coaches that are like that. You know that.
Yeah. There is.
We're scared to.
Yeah, we're like, I mean, don't let their assistants have any like say or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not how we run it.
I'd imagine a lot of kids in this era just don't respond very well to. You could probably only do that to Coach Coy. You probably got a couple kids. You know, you could say whatever you need to them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like
Tyson. Like if I yelled at him, like I know he's not gonna like be offended by it or break down. Like he knows, like okay, I messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's certain kids where you can't.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You got to kind of coddle a little bit, you know. And I understand most kids that you can do that, and most that you don't. But there's times though where you just got to do it anyway, you know.
Yep.
Got to figure it out.
Yep.
For sure. Like Sean was probably one of those guys that had to get coddled and yelled at. Just wait until see what he comes back with. But
see these guys.
All right. So tier talk. Let's get into that. So our tier talk this week is, since in honor of the NFL draft, we are selecting our top 3 4th round or later picks. So basically anyone that got drafted in the 4th to the 7th round in the NFL draft. Who would like to go first?
I'll go. Let me go. What we're going to you go last this week.
I'm going last.
You're going last.
Okay, that's fine. And then Tice, after each person goes through the list, you have to give them one word. You have to respond with one word about their list,
Okay.
like what you thought of their list.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Stinda.
All right. So I got number 3, Tyson. I think you're going to like this one, Antonio Brown. All right.
Number 3. Okay.
Okay. So I'm starting at number 3. I'm starting.
Yep.
I'll go 3, 2, 1. 3, Antonio Brown, 928 career receptions, 12,291 yards, 83 touchdowns, 5 return touchdowns. Didn't even really start playing as a full-time receiver until 2012 when he was drafted in 2010 as the 195th pick. After his 9 years with Pitt, where was he? He was pretty much non-existent because of all the off-field. So you basically give him 9 years. He's a 7-time Pro Bowler, 4-time first-team All-Pro, never elected to anything after that, after leaving Pitt. To me, I still think number 3, I would say he'd be number 2 because you can't top number 1. He'd move up if he didn't have the blow up he had at the end of his career. But you look at his stats for 9 years with Pitt, almost 13,000, receiving yards, almost 90 touchdowns. Tough to go with, or not to go with them. So number 2 might be surprising. Shannon Sharp, tight end for the Broncos. Yep, Broncos.
Ravens.
And then Ravens, yep, at the end. 815 receptions, 10,000 receiving yards, 62 touchdowns. He was a 4-time first-team All-Pro, 8-time Pro Bowler, and he was the 192nd pick in the draft, and he was inducted in the Hall of Fame in 2011. So went there with the tight end, coming out in the 7th round and producing what he did when it was a very heavy run offense when he came into the league at that time. Even though he did have Elway. So he's my number 2, and then number 1, you guys know it's Tom Brady. 7 Super Bowl rings, 199th pick in the draft. I would imagine all of us are probably gonna have Tom Brady as number 1. Maybe not though. I don't know.
Find out.
But I got TB number 1, Shannon Sharp 2, Antonio Brown number 3.
What's your one word to describe that list?
Right.
Right.
Okay. I like it.
I'm gonna say manageable.
Manageable. Okay. Mr.
All right, you have your list.
All right. I didn't do as much research as you, but we'll see how this goes. So 3. The first person that comes to mind is Brock Purdy. I guess he's
okay. Yeah.
He led 49ers to Super Bowl and almost twice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
he's hurt the first year.
Yeah, he got hurt the first year. But doing that at the last pick in the draft, pretty impressive to me.
Mm-hmm.
2, Antonio Brown. I grew up watching him, loved watching him. Yep. My favorite player growing up. So you can't leave him off the list, right?
Yep.
Unless you're a Bears fan.
Yeah, he's not on mine.
Yeah. And then obviously Tom Brady, 7 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I like him, but
yeah,
it's hard you can't go against him.
It's hard to go against him. For sure. All right. What's your word, Stenda?
I'm gonna give him because he's a youngster. I'm gonna say respectable. And I'm gonna say because of the Purdy one, because he's seen the players he's seen are different than what we got to see. So I'll say respectable.
Yeah, I'll say okay. I don't know about the Purdy one.
I didn't do as much research as you did.
I warned you. I know about it. I told you about it at school, and you forgot. So it's your fault. You didn't research it. Dang, man. All right, I'll go. You ready? All right, so I have an honorable mention.
No, did you really?
Yeah. So my honorable mention was he was a 4th round pick, Minnesota Vikings, Chris Carter.
Yep.
Wide receiver. So he's top 10 all time in receptions, receiving yards. I think receiving TDs as well. Obviously a Hall of Famer. So he obviously had a good career. I also thought about Richard Sherman. He was a 5th round pick. He's lockdown corner for the Legion of Boom, the Seahawks, but I went with Chris Carter. My number 3 was Terrell Davis, running back, Broncos, kind of when with Shannon Sharp and Elway and all them. He was a 6th-round pick, 196th overall. He really only played 4 full seasons with injuries. In those 4 seasons, he averaged like over 1,600 yards rushing. In 1 year, he had like 21 rushing TDs. He has I know he has the record for most rushing touchdowns in a single postseason. I believe in like 97 when they won back-to-back Super Bowls. He's a Hall of Famer. The other stat I wrote down that I found interesting, he's the only NFL player to have over 2,000 yards rushing and 20-plus rushing touchdowns in a season.
Yeah, he was a dog, man.
He was a stud. He was really good. And my number 2, Stenda, was Shannon Sharp.
Oh, okay.
The Broncos and the Ravens, 7th-round pick. Basically all the stuff that you said. I mean, he's top 5 in all-time yards and receptions as a tight end. 3-time Super Bowl champ, 2 with the Broncos, 1 with the Ravens. So he obviously go down as one of the better tight ends of all time. And then number 1, obviously Tom Brady. I did I never really looked at this, but Tom Brady's like win-loss record is insane.
Yeah.
In the regular season, he was 251-82. And the postseason, he was 35-13 playoffs. Just insane. 15 Pro Bowls, like crazy. But anyway, he's obviously the greatest of all time and number 1 at the 199th pick.
Yeah.
You guys got a word for me? You can be brutally honest if you want.
I'm gonna say honestly, it's legit. Yeah. I mean, the Terrell Davis, he would have been on my list, but I know we talked a little bit before him, but yeah, that's a pretty good list, man.
Well, and like we said, if he didn't get hurt, he probably would be a top 10 running back of all time. Yeah. I mean, the way he was rolling, and with that offensive line that the Broncos had, it was just crazy.
Yeah.
Ryan Jordan said we should have taken Brady out of the equation. Probably right, but
but then you're not talking about who. Then we're leaving him out. You can't leave him out.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the 199th pick, man.
Go. What was your word? Sorry, Tice.
Solid.
Yeah.
I like it. Solid.
Yeah. Cool.
Be very modest.
Nice. And then I don't know. I get to Jeff Newman's comment here. He said, "My comment for Tyson: I've seen an eye roll or 3, but has never barked at an official. His dad did once. No, for a fact, his dad has done that more than once.
Oh yeah, more than once.
I've sat by Whitey at a couple of basketball games. It's all good.
Yep.
He's not that bad. But
sometimes.
Dude, Newman, he's how long has he, if he's still on here? Jeff, if you're still on here, how long have you been refereeing football? That's what I'd like to know.
I'll see if he comments.
See if he does. Because I remember I told you off air.
I think it's more than Angel Hernandez.
I don't know. I don't think
he'd be close, though. He could be.
That'd be a long time, but yeah.
Man, I told you he flagged me once in football my junior year for I cussed at him.
Ooh.
I didn't.
Refs don't like that and can't cuss at him.
Yeah, and it was not a good. And yeah, he turned and looked at me. And he 15 yards, dog. Damn, man.
That's usually an automatic 15.
Yeah.
Automatic 15. Oh, he must not be on anymore.
I was hoping he was, but he's probably been doing 25, 30 years easily.
So I had an idea in my head, and if Newman's still listening, you know how we had Coach Lower on a while back, and he's a basketball official. So I thought it'd be cool to have like him and Newmy on at the same time and have like just like an officials roundtable talk. That'd and like cool. Talking just them telling officiating stories and whatnot. I think that'd be cool.
We should do that.
Works.
Yeah.
Newmy said he's too shy to get on here, I think, though. Or he didn't want, he's afraid of what he would say or maybe he'd get camera shy. I don't know. We'll see.
I think he'd be fine.
Yeah. Everyone that's been on has been good. So.
Oh yeah. And Tyson's the first high school active athlete that we've had on here.
He is, and he did a great job.
Thank you.
Killed it.
Thank you.
Stenda, you got anything else for him?
No, I think I had everything that I had down for Tyson. Just
Cool.
appreciate you coming on, dude. I mean, I'm sure it was probably a little at first, you know, being a young guy, but yeah, you did a great job, dude. And wish you the best of luck with all your sports. I don't think you probably need much luck there because it sounds like you're kind of the guy there, but you know, keep doing what you're doing. And yeah, man, I look forward to, hopefully I'll get to see you next year in football, and Coach Coit will get you the ball. If he doesn't, I'll go down and I'll let him know. Hey,
Hey,
hey man,
we'll
get him
definitely
the
be in the
ball.
plan for that for sure.
Get my boy the ball or you're done. You ain't coaching here no more. He
Oh,
said, Lee
geez.
Camp told me that he had to stop practice several times due to stenotic crying. Yeah.
Parent practice coddled.
If Lee Camp's, I don't think Lee Camp probably said that. He'd probably say something else out of that. You probably can't really go into that.
That's funny. And then the other comment, Doug Dotson, he said, sat by Whitey for a lot of years and heard anything from him that wasn't the truth. Basketball, yeah.
Yeah.
All good.
Where did Sean go to? Hold on. Where did Sean go to? Did Sean go to Clinton?
Command.
Sean Lawrence.
Oh,
he
went
went.
to-
No, he was modern. Well, I think it was called Modern Day
Prince
Prince of
of Peace
Peace when he was there.
I'm pretty sure they had some pretty good teams back then.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yep. I'll give them that.
I think they were like one game away from state and may have lost that. I don't know. Sean would know more than me.
We just got
obviously,
to get him on too. We just got to get him on. He's just got to do it.
get all the assistants on.
Yeah, that'd be fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have a football show with the assistant coaches. Yeah, be good. All right. We're gonna sign off. I want to thank Tice again for coming on with us and did a good job answering our questions and staying humble and doing what he does. So thanks everyone for listening. Make sure you follow our page. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Adios.